There has been a lot of confusion in recent weeks over a proposal by President Obama to limit charitable contribution deductions. Some have gone so far as to claim that church members would no longer be able to deduct contributions they make to their church under the president's proposal. Let me assure you that this has been an unwarranted overreaction to what amounted to a very narrow proposal. What the president proposed was a cap on the value of a charitable contribution deduction of 28% of the amount of the contribution. Let me illustrate what this means with an example. A taxpayer in the 39.6% bracket, which is the top income tax bracket, makes a $100,000 contribution to his church. Without the president's proposal, this contribution would result in a tax savings of $39,600. Under the president's proposal, this same taxpayer would receive a tax benefit of $28,000, since the value of any charitable contribution deduction would be capped at 28%. The same contribution would be $11,500 more costly under the president's proposal. For simplicity, I did not factor in the so-called PEAS limit, which requires the value of charitable contribution deductions to be reduced by 3% of a taxpayer's adjusted gross income above a specified amount, but not more than by 80%. The president's proposal was not well understood and generated such a storm of protest that the United States Senate voted unanimously on April 4th to reject it. This was, in my opinion, a dramatic illustration of the clout of the charitable community in this country. Sometimes I speak with church leaders who despair that the charitable contribution deduction is in jeopardy. Let me set your minds at ease. Can you imagine the United States Senate unanimously agreeing on anything? Its recent unanimous vote, every Democrat and every Republican, to reject the president's very narrow limitation on the charitable contribution deduction is the best response to those who fear the charitable contribution deduction for all taxpayers is in jeopardy. For now, the president's proposal appears dead. The net effect is that the value of charitable contribution deductions for the highest income taxpayers will be greater than under the president's proposal. Would the president's proposal have spelled disaster for churches and other charities? Consider the following points. First, the president's proposal would not have taken effect until the year 2011. Some tax professionals have suggested that this might have actually encouraged donors to make contributions this year and next year before the president's proposed limits took effect. However, other tax professionals point out that any incentive to contribute larger amounts now to avoid the lower deduction limits in 2011 would have been offset by the current recession. Second, several studies on the impact of charitable contribution limits on charitable giving have produced conflicting results. Some studies suggest that charitable giving is adversely affected by less favorable deduction rules, but others indicate that the effect is marginal. Third, and this is significant, most charitable contributions come from lower income taxpayers who get no tax benefit for their contributions because they're unable to itemize their deductions. The president's proposal, even if it had been enacted by Congress, would have had no impact on these persons.